What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And with this video, we are jumping into the 10 Lives of Wolverine. This will be issue number 3, and if you have not been keeping up with the 10 lives and deaths of Wolverine, go ahead, check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with this story. But when it comes to the 10 lives of Wolverine, this is where we see him doing some time jumping. We're seeing a little bit of quantum leap. And that is because Jean Grey and Professor Xavier, they are taking Wolverine's consciousness and throwing it back into his past lives. And this is all so he can save Charles Xavier. Not only him, but also his ancestors. Because Omega Red, he has it out for Xavier. And he will do whatever it takes. Even going back to the early 1900s and getting rid of his relatives, ensuring that Charles Xavier will never be born. Be sure to buy the comic, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 3, we are picking up and we are seeing multiple different time streams. What we are seeing are the different stages and ages of Wolverine. And with Wolverine reliving all of these days, he cannot help but think to himself that everyone wants to live forever. No one ever wants to die, but the truth of the matter is that the shorter your stay on this earth is, the more that you treasure these things. He knows this because he has been alive for longer than he can remember, and now having to relive all of these lives that he has gone through. It's really making him step back, contemplate, and realize how truly tired he is. And that's because as long as you live, you will continue to fight. Only the dead see the end of war, but he keeps going along. The gears of war continue, and one thing Wolverine knows is that he will live to see the carnage and the aftermath of all of this bloodshed. And that's what takes us to northern Canada in 1900. And right now, on a ship that is stuck in the ice, we have Omega Red trying to kill the one known as Benedict Xavier. With Charles Xavier not being alive in 1900, he is going after his ancestors. He is going after his relatives, the ones that brought him into this world. And with Benedict Xavier killing one of these guys, Omega Red just takes over one of the other henchmen, taking over one individual at a time, doing everything he can to murder Xavier right here on the spot. He is quickly learning that this Xavier is not an Xavier to mess with all of the crew members now being dispatched and Xavier being the last one standing, with Wolverine right there almost to the ship. This is where we see a giant whale taken over by Omega Red breaching the surface, breaking the ice, and coming down on top of this ship. And with the whale coming down on top of them, that is what takes us to post-war Japan. And Wolverine currently fighting Omega Red, taking over the woman he loves. And what is stopping Wolverine right in this instant from killing her is that if he kills her, he is concerned that his son Dakin will never be born. Not sure if this is something he is able to do. Not sure if he is willing to take that risk. He reaches out to Jean Grey, brings her into this timeline, because he needs to ask the question, if I kill her, will my son be born? If I kill her, could you save Dakin? Because at the end of the day, he needs to know that he is safe. And Professor Xavier, he says maybe it is possible that they isolate Dakin's consciousness and be able to protect him even if you kill his mother. The problem with this is that they don't have enough time to do it. And then Wolverine, he recognizes that something is wrong. Something is wrong with Itsu. And what is wrong with her is Romulus. Romulus not really knowing what is going on or what he is interrupting, telling Wolverine that you can't be surprised to see me, because Romulus is never going to let him have a happily ever after. he is always going to pop up and ruin anything he has going on. And with him impaling Itsu, this is when we are taken to Russia. We are picking up with Omega Red and Rasputin. At this point, Rasputin has convinced Omega Red to join the Russians. Even though Omega Red doesn't really want anything to do with them, this is his only way at getting back at mutant kind. Because Charles Xavier, all of them, they could have removed this crap in his chest so long ago. They could have cured him, and they chose not to. He also doesn't forget that Russia, they are the ones that put this here to begin with. But Rasputin lets them know that Russia, they have a new dawn, and that comes in the form of the Cerebro sword. Rasputin firmly believing that with this sword, with Omega Red, and with his brother, that they will turn their own inventions against mutant kind, telling Omega Red that he is very obviously upset about the past, and justifiably so. And with the Cerebro network, this gives him the opportunity to go back and rewrite history. This is his chance to take out Charles Xavier, and driving that sword into the chest of Omega Red. This is how he is able to jump through the timeline and quantum leap himself to all of these different time eras that Wolverine is combating him in, which will bring us to many years ago in Colombia. With Sabretooth hot on his tail, Wolverine is trying to make it 10 miles to Professor Xavier, with Xavier here in Colombia trying to help the indigenous people. But Wolverine knows that even in that 10-mile span, there are a million things that can go wrong. But he can't concern himself with what might be, because until those gears grind down to zero, he is going to continue doing everything necessary to protect mutant kind. Showing us 1900 Northern Canada, we have this whale. It is beginning to wrap up Benedict Xavier, with Wolverine coming in to save the day. It's looking like Wolverine is getting the upper hand against Omega Red in every single timeline that they are in every single time era that they have landed. That is, except for Japan. Because right now he is going against Romulus. And while he is fighting Romulus, Omega Red is still possessing the woman he loves. So he is having to fight a battle on two fronts. Not wanting anything to happen to Itsu, she is more than willing to jump off of a cliff or kill herself right here on the spot, just to watch Wolverine in his misery. And this is where Wolverine, he recognizes he can't mess around anymore, telling Romulus he would love to take his time and slowly torture and kill him. But the truth of the matter is he doesn't have the time, because right now it's not about him. And so what he does is hurts Romulus enough to where he goes running, tail tucked between his legs. And with Romulus taking off, Wolverine, he thinks to himself that maybe I should tell him to never come back, but he knows that Romulus, he will always return. Maybe not himself, maybe he will send his minions after him, but the truth of the matter is he knows no matter what, Romulus will come back, and when that time comes, he will deal with him once and for all in that time era. And with Romulus now running for his life, he runs over to Itsu, Wolverine picking her up, recognizing that something is wrong, something is off. And that something is that Omega Red is leaving her body, with Itsu completely unaware of anything that just transpired. Jean Grey lets him know that it is time to leave. They can't stay in this time era any longer, because right now, Charles Xavier's life is about to be extinguished. Which brings us to Colombia. And with Charles Xavier giving his speech to the indigenous people, Wolverine is trying with everything he can to get there in time. Swimming through canals, getting through the brush. He gets to the location. He looks around to find Omega Red, with Jean Grey letting him know that he should be here. This is the exact place and the exact time. But what they haven't anticipated is that Omega Red has been trying new ways to beat them this entire time. And so what they did not expect is that Omega Red was going to take over Wolverine. And that is where we see the transformation. The Omega Red symbol forming on Wolverine's head. And now he is gunning for Charles Xavier. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. That was definitely an ending I was not anticipating. Though I probably should have anticipated that. It's just something I wasn't thinking was a possibility of happening in these timelines. Especially when you're sending Wolverine back using his consciousness to jump into his prior bodies. But it does make sense, them having the Cerebro Sword impaled into the chest of Omega Red. He essentially has the power to jump his consciousness into any body he chooses. I think the big looming question for this is, what is Colossus's part in all of this? The brother of Rasputin, now under the control of Rasputin and on the Quiet Council. And so we see how Russia is playing its part. We see how Rasputin's doing his thing. We know how Omega Red is going to affect this. We don't know how Colossus is going to affect anything or everything going on currently. What I anticipate is that they are going to try to get Colossus to more than likely murder everyone on the Quiet Council, or at the very least, prevent Xavier and Jean Grey from sending Wolverine back any further or any more. That way Omega Red can do what he is planning on doing, and that is killing Xavier, removing him from the timeline. This would alter everything of mutant kind in a drastic way. And when it comes to the 10 deaths and the 10 lives, I gotta say the 10 deaths, that story really is much more appealing because it's picking up where Inferno had left off, with us chasing down Moira. And this story is more of a quantum leap story, jumping us all over the place, which is cool in some sense, but it would have been much nicer to get one story jumping back to the 1900s and then another story to Japan, not giving us 3 different stories inside the same comic. It makes it really convoluted, and it makes it a little difficult to follow. It's not impossible to follow, but it's definitely got some confusing aspects to it. Now, I'm sure a lot of the confusion is going to get fixed here in the near future as this story comes to a close. I believe issue number 5 is going to be the last issue for both the 10 lives and 10 deaths, giving us a total of 10 issues. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.